Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we're going to talk about something that's happening on the Internet that has prompted a whole lot of questions from a lot of people. The most interesting of which came from somebody who I happen to know is actually in politics. And the question was basically framed: could you explain this as if you were talking to somebody who was going to have to brief President Biden on who Dark Brandon is? Okay, so if you haven't experienced Dark Brandon yet, rest assured you probably will. It's a meme. Dark Brandon is a meme. It's a joke. And it depicts President Biden as somebody who is totally in control and ruthless in the pursuit of incredibly progressive ideas. It's a joke. It started, well, actually there's a long developmental history with this meme, but to the point that matters, it started with people who understood that Biden is a centrist. Okay, he's not incredibly progressive, but that's what they want. Originally, it was for people kind of like me. If you remember before the election, Joe Biden's not a savior. He's a centrist. Joe Biden's not my man. I want the Joe Biden from Republican memes. That's Dark Brandon. Dark Brandon is leaning into the Republican idea that he is some super left-wing progressive who's controlling everything behind the scenes and pulling the strings and all of that, and taking it to an extreme. Simultaneously, it's mocking the Republican tendency under Trump and even now to attribute anything good to their chosen candidate while saying, that they have to stick with the plan and all of that stuff and have faith in the Savior. It's ironic. It's a joke. However, it has now crashed into the mainstream, and it has left these circles of people who are very online, leaving some confusion for some people. The general idea is that there's a whole lot of people who want Dark Brandon, who want a president who is just unstoppable in pursuit of progressive ideas. Somebody who isn't afraid to look at a couple of senators who may be stopping an important piece of legislation involving the inflation and just be like, you're going to pass this for the working class or else, while, eating ice cream. That's Dark Brandon. It's entertaining as a joke. It is important to remember that it is a joke. Biden is not super progressive, as much as people like me wish he was. The interesting thing about it is that now that it's hit the mainstream, the smaller achievements that the Biden administration is getting. I've talked about how the Democratic Party's really bad at messaging and nobody knows about the smaller wins. People are now finding out about them because people are making memes with Dark Brandon crediting him for it. Now, at the same time, this is a joke about how the Republican Party will credit the president with anything good and deny anything bad or try to shape anything bad as part of some grand plan. That's what Dark Brandon is. That's what the memes are going to do. It may, given the way U.S. politics works, it might actually be helpful for the Biden administration because it does assist their messaging. People will find out more about the lesser achievements of the Biden administration, the stuff that doesn't make headlines because the media can't get ad revenue off of it. And with the Biden administration, he's actually had a lot of achievements, but most aren't headline grabbing. They're not the sort that are going to provoke a lot of discussion. But there's hundreds of them. They're little baby things. And eventually they'll all add up. Dark Brandon taking credit for it might actually really help the Democratic Party get that messaging out so people are aware of the smaller achievements that the Biden administration has accomplished, even though they may not be incredibly excited about how Biden is sometimes portrayed. It's worth looking at them. It's entertaining. Just understand that it's a joke, half making fun of Biden while pushing progressive ideas, and half making fun of the Republican Party and their belief that a president is a savior who controls all. But if I was a politician who had any influence over Democratic messaging, I'd probably lean into this a little bit, because for younger people, this is going to be one of the coolest things the Democratic Party's ever done. So for everybody else, just remember it is a joke. Biden isn't really a radical leftist. He's center-right. He's a centrist. And his policies are somewhat socially progressive. Dark Brandon doesn't actually change any of that. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.